Alright, Cryomancer. Awaken, wizard, and only use ice equipment. Well, obviously we're going to start with a nice icicle. You approach me? Storm Burst with Storm Spirits is my go-to winning combo in 2. That's where I was leaning. I really like Storm Spirits. Book of Ice is probably a good idea. Regain a charge for your other ice spells. Auto recast. Ice damage is dealt to all enemies, not only those with the fire tag. Cast Chill Wind on 3 enemies. Death Chill we have access to, and Sorcery we can manipulate. So Source Winter's probably gonna be in there, but we could go Winter Sting. But we won't be able to upgrade the spell. That's why that one's a little less exciting. Right away, I know 2 things I want to get online as soon as possible, though. I want Boreal Armor soon, and I want Robe of Storms soon. I agree. I love the art style for 3. Book of Ice and Prismatic Beam. I've seen Blizzard Frenzy and Stormburst runs too. I want to mess around with Prismatic Beam. I haven't played with that one yet. Don't have those huge floors. Yes, I love the new music. And I agree, it does have some CUD overlap in the music. Icicle can recast Chill Wind, by the way. I mean, this is our new Ice Tap. And I loved Ice Tap in 2. Just found out recently I'm going to be between jobs for a while, but doing okay. I know how you feel. Royal, I know how you feel. I worked at a college, same college I graduated from. Big part of the community. I've been in there for ages. And then they announced their closing. So it's like a fun surprise of like, hey, the community you've been a part of for like 20 years is gone. And your job's gone too. It's like, okay, well. One or the other, please. One or the other. So we obviously want the letter I. Just a million copies of the letter I. This economy, am I right? Oh, everything sucks these days. But they need more money. More than we need that money, right? Hey, fulfillment is important. Everything sucks. Indeed. Cold Snap and Shatter Shards. Shatter Shards is like mandatory. I don't think we could do a run in ice without it. Yeah, this has been a bit of a weird chapter of my life. I think we're gonna re-roll. Although, yeah, re-roll. Sitting around our own little bubble visiting in-laws. Not bad. Come on, letter I. There we go. And a free spell I already wanted. Visu, thank you for that subscription. Welcome to the most sacred order of the box shakers. Enjoy your emotes. We have some new emote additions to the family here. Yeah, the tags is the hard part. That's always I've known many folks that have found fun jobs, but they were temps. So hopefully you get to make it a permanent position. Starting an LLC to do some contract and consulting work. Oh, that's exciting. I miss the spinning Schlorp. He was the wriggly Schlorp for a while. I do want to make a better version of the Schlorpy. Like a better animated version of the Schlorpy. 0 damage! Thank you very much for that raid. How was the Noida stream?
Hello.
How's it going? Merry Xmas, Merry Xmas, how are you? Welcome, welcome. Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, everybody. How's everyone doing? Happy Mother's Day. Tell me about your Noidas today. Any good runs? Want to work on robotics or something? Ah, prosthetics and the robotics overlap is a nice one. All right. I think I want to just bum rush Stormburst right here. A Merry Groundhogsmas to you. I'm gonna take a fair chunk of damage just so I can take out lots of people at once. I could take a step. I could take another step. No! Yes! Alright. Going for the 34th orb. Ooh. So how you doing the 34th orb? You did 7 pillar achievements. Very good. You're gonna stick yourself to the proper XY coordinate. So you're using, like, the seed? Which is, like, the only way to do it, right? Using one of the seeds so you can confidently put yourself in the right position. Alright, we got one letter L. Three Lukey mutations for filler. Aha. Gotta stay perfectly still. Well, everyone here probably knows Zero. Excellent Noida player. For those of you that just got here, I'm Chris here at Shake the Box. We're playing some Rift Wizard 3. We just did a run where I built a infinite damage loop, and now we spun a wheel and we're doing the Cryomancer challenge, so only ice spells and equipment allowed.
Thank you.
So, if you have any questions about Rift Wizard 3, feel free to ask me. I'm also trying to win streak while we do it, so I'm like, my brain is zoning out slightly. Need to get independently wealthy first. That's step 1? Oh no. Does YouTube allow for some leeway? A little bit. Does Zero have a YouTube? Zero, do you have a YouTube you want to promote? Low bar. It's an easy first step. I make music and I have one single on Bandcamp. Alright. Like, I know Zero from Twitch, not so much from YouTube, so that makes sense for me. Get my music for free for streamers to use in case they don't want to split audio. Nice. I consider myself wealthy as long as I can afford double steak on my hibachi. Well, obviously we want to come here. Cast your self-targeting ice spell on yourself. That's nice. I want Dual Nova, and I want Spirit Nova. We'll do Spirit Nova first. So if I land on here, we'll pop it off immediately, but we could wait a couple of turns just to get a couple more targets in range to maximize the damage we put out from it. That way we can get a few extra storm sprites off of it. That's kind of my leaning right now. In the meanwhile, I can pick off that guy. Yep, one step down will do it. I don't care if I'm blind. Have to ask you to move over? How did that only make the one sprite over there? Come on. That's fine. Yeah, I do want to do Word of Ice on the Refracted guy. For me, being able to eat one Ben & Jerry's ice cream every week means I'm doing good money-wise. Like, I have relatively low living expenses, and I try to live somewhat frugally. So I'm trying my best here with, like, Twitch and YouTube to cover most of my expenses while I figure something else out. Or, who knows, if we're lucky, we try hard, maybe we can just live off this for a while longer. I do think I want to start right on this. Very good. On psych leave, getting 65% of your paycheck? Yeah, everyone's having a hard time these days. Well, not everyone. A very small subsection of the population's doing just fine. Sir. Someone stop that man. He is ruining my day. I am in range. Getting all the Pokemon cards for everyone else, those bastards. 4 turns on summon snakes. Ow. Alright, he's the problem. If you guys can keep me safe from him. Okay, we're good. We are good. Build something! I don't need to. Building something is when you're nervous. I am filled with only confidence. Yeah. Okay. And with the dual Nova, I'm guaranteed to make some better buddies right away. Channeling would be fun too, though. Oh, thank you very much, Zero. I did a run of Summon Wizards not too long ago. It went up on YouTube like yesterday, the day before. The thumbnail is the wizard looking very sad and all the wizards ignoring him and walking away. You can't miss it. If you can't tell from the thumbnail, wasn't a winning run, but it was a good run. It was a good run. I had to see what that little hand was about, but I stayed for the rifting and the wizardry. Thank you, thank you. Alright, we have eyes on any floor. This floor, though, we got a Glacial Scripts, which gets us a W. So we're on our way to Word of Ice. The UT is just handy to have. What is the hand about? The hand is a fun little shout out to Caves of Cud. We've done a lot of Caves of Cud runs on the channel. And my favorite builds in Caves of Cud is to be a mutant and grow as many limbs as possible. So I love just being a ball of arms and hands all holding different weapons. So I put my little head-hand twig. Because it's a game where, like, literally, like, yeah, Chimera runs. Chaos detected, got it. When I eventually get it right, I'm currently in like the depression pit. We've all been there before. Life throws a curveball, you're depressed, your room becomes a mess. So my desk and my room in general are not very organized at the moment, but I plan on cleaning my desk and I'll have like redemptions, so if you would like to replace the hand with a dinosaur. I also have moods we could put on here. Little sad guy. So on and so forth. Highlander, thank you for that follow and welcome to the Shake the Box family. I often don't know what to say. The secret to success on Twitch is hard to pin down. As long as you're doing you and having fun, you'll do fine. My only advice I could ever give is have a good time and be consistent. Like, I don't know if that's really important, but I try my best to, like, same day, same time. Like, I might be a few minutes late or a few minutes early, but, like, if it's the day, you know I'll be there. So, like, Sunday, Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, you know I'm gonna be live between 5 p.m. and who the hell knows. Yeah. Whether or not I'm playing a game you're necessarily interested in, I play all kinds of stuff. But hopefully I make whatever I'm playing entertaining enough that even if it's not a game you're necessarily interested in, you're kind of curious to see how I'll break the game or just have a good time. I often will just ad-lib dialogue in video games, and people get very confused, and I find that very fun. Alright, we don't want to be in the smiley face. I keep on messing that up. Made an attempt to Twitch for a while, had to quit because he had a kid. Yeah, like, I'm lucky, I don't have kids. The demo rants you do are great. I'm glad you enjoy those. Thank you, Chonky. Yeah. I try to be positive. I mean, this is just too convenient of an opening right here. You have clarity, let's not do it yet. This was too convenient of an opener, like a chance to immediately spawn on the pumpkin with a free cast, generate a lot of buddies. Take out the boss right away. Bow, bow, bow. I think being a viewer is also important, especially when building a community. Yeah. Used to do 1 hour or 2 after 8 hours of my job, 4 hours of streaming, just getting around meeting people. We're also, like, we got our community. Like, I say that in 2 ways. We have the Shake the Box community, which I'm always very proud of, and I find to be a wonderful place. But we also have our greater stream community. Like, we hang out with Alias and Super Hobbit and Krath. I don't chat enough in other people's. I'm trying to get better about that. Like, I'll, just lurk in your stream. I'll lurk in Zydio's stream. Alias is such a legend. He's a good guy. He's a great guy. You need to be chronically online. More than I already am? Unless you play Rift Wizard. Yeah, if someone's playing Rift Wizard, I will be in there. I'm worried. Alias was playing yesterday. He was on a losing streak. And, like, the day before, I had a losing streak. Like, I streamed all day, no wins. That just happens sometimes, especially if you're, like, on autopilot and you're just having a good time. But I think he was, like, getting frustrated, but I was in there just like, hey, do this instead. Alias was playing Rift Wizard. That's what I was in there. Watched a bit of Zydio play Noida by guitar a couple of days ago. Yeah, right? A lot of good folks around. I only associate with good people of good moral character. And perverts. Those are the 2 people I interact with. Let's re-roll. Warlord's Skull, huh? Haha! Yeah, I like the Noida community. Like, a lot of games have, like... I don't want to say trashy communities, but, like... I really like the Souls games, but the Dark Souls community can be kind of shitty sometimes. I really like Helldivers 2. The Helldivers 2 community is dog water. God damn. There are a lot of people in the Helldivers 2 greater community that are willfully ignore the satire element and are just like, but what if the fascists are the good guys? It's like, oh my god. Yeah, they memed too close to the sun. Yeah, Noida, I find the Noida community has always been really good. Caves of Cud is like 90% good, and then there's 10% who are like, why won't they let us play as the human supremacists? I don't understand. It's like, all right, let's calm down there. I can make my boreal armor. We need an L. Yep. Like, the policy has to be zero. Like, zero tolerance. If someone pops in, they're like, just casually, how do you feel about, you know, white nationalism? And it's just like, all right, just get him out right now. Just get him out of here. I don't know this game. It does remind me of Caves of Cud. Ah, so this is Rift Wizard 3. We're doing a challenge run. We only have access to ice magic and ice equipment, but generally speaking, this is a game where you could theory craft an entire run. Like, you could have a plan from floor 1 to floor 21, every spell you want along the way. It's amazing. I typically like jumping in and having like a notion of I want to build around certain stuff. It is very hard, but it is very fair. Incredibly fair. Noida community is really try hard and dedicated to the game. Yes. Dwarf Fortress levels of modularity? Not quite Dwarf Fortress level, because Dwarf Fortress... I've also been streaming Dwarf Fortress, and boy howdy. That's a whole different level. This is, like... I would say hundreds of thousands of potential runs exist in here. So, like, my last run, I did a run where I specifically wanted to build an infinite damage loop. Like, I would cast a spell, it would do a certain type of damage, which would proc an item that would do another type of damage that would trigger that spell again. And, like, we had an engine online where I would just cast one spell, and it would automatically do stuff until I beat the floor on turn 1. I've done other runs where, like, you just summon a dog, and you make the dog really strong, and you give it the power to, like, cast its own spell when it kills something, and it just goes around and, like, you empower the dog. I've done runs where you summon hundreds of things, and you just cover the screen with garbage. Like, there's just infinite ways to play this game. I fired one spark bolt that took 1 hour and 17 minutes to render the payload. I love doing that in Noida. I used to try and, like, make as many ducks appear on screen as possible, and then just have the screen become a pool of blood at the end. What about runs where you just have Sonic Shields? Sonic Shields is one of my favorite. It was ducks! Yeah! I love ducks. In which case, I do know the stream you're talking about. Duck engine with trigger recursion, yeah! If there's a Nazi at the table and 10 other people sitting there talking to him, you got a Nazi, yeah, a table of 11 Nazis. You don't want even one. Don't want even the one. Alright, let's move on to another floor. I've been happily chatting this whole time. But now I'm curious how many W's away we are from Book of... Oh my god, we're ready for Book of Ice. I know I want to do this, but Book of Ice is such a great opener. I was quietly lurking, as I sometimes do while I'm working on stuff. Like, I like popping into people's streams and just watching them on the other monitor while I'm editing my streams. Like, working on VODs is the perfect time to watch someone else's stuff. I'm gonna need an F for later, right? You gotta have a build online somewhere before level 10. Even if you have a plan out, even if you have to plan out different ways to scale it sometimes later, yeah. Like, my general plans are, I want to do this. It's like a later build idea. And then over the course of the run, you focus on scaling up your earlier spells that all synergize with that later one. So by the time you get there, it's already stronger than it was going to be. In the Mancer Trials, that's a little harder to do, but still a good idea. Thanks again for the raid, and I'll catch you later, Zero. Almost 1 a.m.? That's when I wrap up my streams and start making dinner. All the other word spells have some sort of monster type dependent downside, but ice doesn't. That's true. Oh yeah, the White Hole run was my favorite Noita run, where we just had to sit there for like 45 minutes waiting for the game to let us move on. And now my save file's broken thanks to Alias convincing me to do multiplayer. That monster. Alright, Word of Ice. Yeah, we want to be careful of stuff that can kill us. Now that we know we're going to be freezing everybody, though. When a unit is unfrozen or a frozen unit dies, we want this right now. Like, I want my armor set up, I really do. But if we're going to freeze the whole map, this is huge. We're never getting a 34 run, are we? I mean, we can at some point go for the 34 orb run. It's just such a specific thing that it narrows it down to the point where, like, there's one right way to do it. And that's where, like, the fun element of the game kind of peters off a little bit, where it's like, you have to do it like this. Everything else we could kind of goof off. Yeah, it's tedium. Like, I like doing fun stuff. Tedious stuff is a little less exciting. That's why we've never done the 34. I know we'll get a nice, like, amulet in our necklace, but the tedium element makes me like, one day. Like a 15 rune run in Dungeon Crawl Stone Soup. Never even bothered trying. Don't need W's anymore. What's this run? Saving 34 spell points? No, sorry. So. Yeah, I like collecting the pillar achievements. In Noita, there are orbs of true knowledge, right? And your world normally has, what is it, 11 in one standard worlds? And you can do a run where you collect 33 versions of the orb. But technically, you can win the game with a 34th orb, but there's only one hyper-specific way to do it. And it's so hyper-specific and so long and tedious that I've never bothered to do it. I've never done more than 5. Like, I love doing long god runs in Noita, but usually for the purpose of, like, I want to take the sun and drag it to hell! Like, that kind of stuff is incredible. And you can approach that any way you want, really. A little less so when it's like, alright, we need to be at this exact XY coordinate. We need to cast this one spell. It's going to generate this one specific chest. And then we pick it up. And it's like, whatever. Need to solve that puzzle. Yeah, there's the eye puzzle. Did they ever solve the cauldron? Alright, I gotta actually pick a floor here. This looks like the easiest of the floors. Start here. Alright, you are ruining my whole day. I forgot to get upgrades! Oh my god, we talked so much. We talked about all this other stuff, and I forgot to upgrade any of my spells. Alright, Prismatic Beam is exciting. Starwell could be good. We're making him throw. No. We're gonna be fine. We're gonna be fine. Prism they asses. Prismatic beam. Deal 40 damage in a beam. If the beam encounters a frozen unit, it refracts, creating up to 4 more beams that shoot from that unit toward enemies in line of sight of it. A beam created by refraction can create half as many beams as the beam that created it. Also refracts when it encounters petrified or glass. When the beam refracts, it deals dice damage in a frozen burst. The wide pulse heals allies instead of damaging them. Just, maybe make sure I don't throw the run right quick, right? Yeah. Do 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 do. Candy? All right. What piece of candy shall I eat? Whoop, those all fell out of the bag. Looks like it's gonna be something grape flavored. I currently just have random little bags from different countries, so I don't know what country this is from either. Mmm. Grapey. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Gifting some memberships out, Mr. Odin. You gifted yourself one. I like that. Well, we're gonna have 5 of these pop up, but thank you, Mighty Odin, for gifting some YouTube memberships. I could ruin my numbers on this one. Freezing an icicle, yeah. We basically want as much freeze as we could possibly get. Yeah. Thank you, me, for the gift. Come on, team. All right, you guys might as well just grab freezing for cheap here. Even if it was just to lock them down a little bit. Give me Odin's money. What was the prediction? That I was going to win handily? That's the only correct prediction to make. I didn't know if you embiggened an emote, it would pop up on stream like that. I gotta look at my alerts. But that's very funny. I'm not gonna change that. That's gonna stay. If anything, we want more of that nonsense. There's a lot to like about this floor, and at 5 spell points, let's grab Dual Nova. Let's make our Boreal Armor right now. I look forward to the member-only content. There's already a bunch of stuff in there. It's the secret playlist, which if you look through member posts, you'll find. Back in your cage. All right. Word of Ice. And then Prismatic Beam. And then Storm Burst it up. God damn it, it gave a resurrection to the statue. It gave it another one! You have ice on you, right? Item down here. There we are. L, and there's probably not much conjuration in my future outside of my little buddies I'm making. I'll just use the CC there. When an enemy takes ice damage, chance to freeze them. We definitely want you. Chill staff would be good. Audrey, thank you for becoming a member. Enjoy the emotes and the secret playlist. There's a lot of like, I will be playing Night Rain or Helldivers. I am generally not sober, and the people I'm playing with have no idea I'm secretly recording. You'll find out so many secrets, so many dark truths about other people. I think Tundra Mantle would be a really nice grab. Not you, though, Audrey. Audrey's in there. Don't tell Audrey. Have I ever been a part of this? No, definitely not. I swear I was already subscribed. I've never actually told people that the YouTube membership started, but people found it on their own. Like, I really gotta, like, make an announcement about it properly somewhere and, like, advertise it. Never recorded me. What? You're in all the episodes. Shockingly, I need a lot of... Oh, double eyes on one floor? I mean, that's where we're going. Oh, God, no. Yeah, Prismatic Ray, I know, can become arcane. That's why we want to grab that icicle at some point. If I land on this, we'll immediately do 50 damage and freeze you. The prismatic is, the arcane rather is arcane reflection. which would be nice. It's not as good as just getting the pulse, but I think we want it just so we can cast it on lots of people at once. 50% resistant to ice. But not the lightning. So you're going to take the full brunt of the lightning damage. So 30 damage you're going to take. Per tile. Every 60 is how we make one. So if you're taking 30 per tile, each cast will get me 4 spirits. I think there's a piece of equipment that's going to be very important if we want to have any kind of mobility at all. Stormcaller staff. How do you deal with oh, so big guys, surprisingly small spells can be very effective. This is true for 2 as well as 3. As long as you're hitting all of their tiles, because each tile is a separate instance of damage, so like, if you hit them with 1 fireball, if you're centering it and the splash is hitting all their tiles, you could take the damage you're doing with that fireball and multiply it by 9. So anything with a AoE to it is effective for large monsters. And then anything that works on percentages, so Soul Tax. Soul Tax is amazing for dealing with large enemies. With your build, how would you use a Spellgraph Shrine? Like on this run right now, I'm not sure. What would be the best thing to plop on there? The thing is, like, the equipment is so limited. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Like, Spellgraph doesn't help as much because with the equipment taken away, the need to go outside of ice is removed. Like, I don't need to add a fire tag to make a certain spell proc. Oh, no problem, Chonky. Yeah, big guys are strong against singular big hits, but weak against AoE and lots of small hits. So anything like, even Chaos Barrage is great for large enemies. Soul Tax, again, does count as a big hit, but it's a percentage big hit. So, like, you could really zerg down a big guy with Soul Tax, because it's 1/3 of their health as dark damage, 1/3 of their health as holy damage, and with the upgrade, 1/3 of their health is arcane. IILLNN. Stormcaller, I think, will be kind of important. Yeah. Well, there's a lot of good stuff. I think I do want my Tundra Mantle first, or my Cold Snap. I already got these guys. I could make the Cold Snap Amulet right now. That way we could just keep things frozen more often. Big guys with shields. I don't know if you were here for the last run, Two-Tone, but I turn 1 killed a boss that had 2 phases. And between those 2 phases had over 1,000 shields. On turn 1, I got through 1,000 shields and several thousand hit points. My last run was insane. It was incredibly overpowered. Alright, I think we want to go with Chance. Oh, I want the Storm thing really soon, though. Well, yeah, but Zone 20 builds aren't great for general advice. Oh, fair, fair. I wasn't like contradicting. I was just, hey, speaking of, want those resistances solved before the Blizzard Beacon and Stormcaller staff. Some things that directly deal with shields. Keyword burn, yes. A little harder to do in our current challenge runs. Oh, you're on the other side of a wall. In that case... He got rid of the wall! You frozen? You're stunned. You're also stunned. Become froze. Turn of clarity. And freeze him. Do. Aw, I was gonna use those bats. Alright, keep up the good work, team. Easy peasy. I confirm Stormcaller makes Prismatic Beam insane. Yeah. I just read that and I'm already reading it again. I'm like, that's what I want. There's a lot of stuff I want. That's the problem, I think. You're probably wondering how I ended up in this situation. Where are those fat bodies he used to have? This is a hellhole of a floor. It does have the ice tag I want, but... God damn it. Like, what would we do with a Spellgraph Shrine? There's really not much point to it. I guess technically, one thing we could do, just to put it out there, would be put sorcery on Word of Ice. That way, we're able to scale charges on it. Well, actually, we can't because equipment. Damn. I guess we could still put sorcery on there for the sake of stuff like Source Winter if we want to go in Source Winter direction. I make Stormburst metallic with it. But why? Yeah. Again, the Cryomancer makes the grafting shrine a lot less exciting. Oh yeah, in a standard run, the Spellgraph Shrine is so exciting. The problem is if you're in Cryomancer, like, it doesn't let me do much because we're still gonna be limited to ice. Like, I can't break out of this I can't break out of this cage of emotions, or rather, this cage of the eye tag. Charge and damage. What are the ritual spells, and how do they work? So, a little hard to talk about, because we are in a trial, and there's nothing here. But... generally speaking, ritual spells are a spell that you channel for a duration of time, and something happens at the end of that duration. Like, if you successfully complete the ritual, i.e. you don't interrupt your channeling, you get some kind of bonus effect at the end. So not every channeled spell is a ritual, but all rituals are channels. So in this case, if the ritual is completed, Stormburst radius and duration increase by 1 for the remainder of the level. My favorite ritual is one where you build up a collection of daggers, and then at the end of the ritual, you launch thousands of daggers out. It is bonkers. I really like that one. Alright, we could make Prismatic Beam arcane. Regain a charge of your other ice spells, and then you give those daggers daggers. I like auto recast. Ritual dagger is part of your first win. It's such a fun spell, right? I think Killer Cold would be a real nice grab. And again, if we spellgraph sorcery on it, and we remove the requirement that they are fire-based, that would be an excellent activator for Source Winter. Boy, I hate these guys. They are less scary. Yeah. It's like only one turn. That doesn't sound right. But it's probably a good idea. I don't think I need to craft anything right this second. I'm gonna greed it out for one more floor, and then I'm gonna look at what I can make. It's like, what order we approach these items on is kind of important. Pretty good, pretty good. Pretty bad, pretty bad. Thank you, old lady, thank you. Freeze! Are you going to give me more damage? What's going on, Flan? How are you? We had an insanely broken run earlier. And now we're doing the Cryomancer challenge. Like, everything is going to largely be sorcery and ice. Like, what in here doesn't have sorcery? Dreams of the Star Wall, worm eggs. I do love worm eggs, though. I'm having a pretty wizard evening. Blizzard doesn't have sorcery. Ice Phoenix. Tanati has the right idea. I like how you think. Yes. Yes, indeed. If we make Prismatic Beam Arcane without wasting the upgrade points on it, we could go hard. That's the way. That's the way. You want another screening of Wizard People, dear reader? Make it loop? Or Death Chill to become sorcery? Oh. Well, hold on. Can we make it loop? We need to talk about that first. So, Death Chill. Death Chill is an enchantment. We can make it a sorcery. Deal 11 dark damage to target each turn for 5 turns. So it's not going to do damage on cast, right? It's going to do damage at the end of each turn. I wanted to see the cool whale. It will on kill. Good point, good point. Oh, that's a toughie. How close we are to a Source Winter? We are 1 E away. That is very tempting. If you get the Ice Eye thing that does ice in line of sight on cast. Yeah, that's a pretty obvious good idea. I like that a lot. You want like a damage based on the tags? That can be tricky because like some of the tags are just... They're not really damage related, they're just informational. But it does matter for equipment, for how the synergies work. But more data is always nice. Never say no to more data. Am I gonna re-roll? Like, we still have to do the shrine. I'm just thinking ahead here. There's an eye with a sorcery tome. Hello. Hello there, duplication shrine. Okay. Doesn't get me my Source Winter right away, but that's okay. We like that for the duplication part. Interesting. Most interesting. Alright, I think we are going to go for Death Chill with a sorcery tag. Mad Max Fury Road. I love Mad Max Fury Road so much. Such a good movie. Applies silence for the same duration is pretty good. Also deals poison damage. Stacking with mass, though, is probably the direction I want to go overall. Putting the sorcery tag on there is super easy peasy, since we have a singular sorcery tag. The other thing is, if like we could go for Arcane on Prismatic Beam. I do like that, but there's another way to make that one happen, right? This is the only way we're making a loop with Death Chill. It does what it says in the spell card. I think what they're saying is post-floor statistics being broken down more specifically. Like, I think it's already pretty much where I want it to be, but I think they're looking for, like, you did this much damage with Prismatic Beam. If you click on it, like, these are how the tags contributed to the damage. If I'm understanding chat correctly, I might be misunderstanding as well. Death Chill becomes sorcery. Sorcery. Alright, so we want to hold on to 2 eyes. Because we currently... Actually, we could spend 2. We could spend 2 eyes. Is there something we want that we want to duplicate? At the moment, duplicating Shatter Shards ain't the worst idea in the world. But I think we could do better. We could do double Robe of Ice, which would give us 100% ice resistant, and we cannot be frozen. It'd be 50% more damage on our spells, and 50% more duration. So double Robe of Ice is nice. Double Oculus won't do anything. Just one Oculus is fine. Double Ice Frenzy Mask would go pretty hard, though. Double Snow Staff's not the worst idea. We could go for like a Soaked Loop. Ever Melting Cube. If they're unfrozen, we freeze them. And there was something in here about Soaked, right? Soaked enemies are frozen, yeah. With Tundra Mantle, which we already have on our wish list, and Ever Melting Cube. If they're unfrozen, they're soaked. If they're soaked, they're frozen. Did you think it was Ever Melting Cuck? What would... Explain yourself. This damage is 10, equal to 10 multiplied by the number of turns they spend frozen. Ooh, I like that one too. The Melting Cube. Just raw numbers. I know, I'm trying to figure out, like, we're gonna duplicate something. Like, what do we want to duplicate? Like, we could be totally immune. Yeah, adding 6 duration. This will give us complete immunity to ice. 50% more damage, 50% more duration. Tundra Mantle, getting a copy of doesn't matter. But I want it anyway. But this one is more damage overall, right? Like, we're adding 10 damage if we duplicate that. 50% would just be 5 and 5 there. 50% is more for this one. It'd be 20. About the same here. I can think of right now is, does a spell grant its tags to the damage? Is Prismatic Beam just holy? Yeah, unless it specifically mentions how the tags and damage do things, it tells you what the damage type is, right? Like, looking at Prismatic Beam, just holy. It has the ice tag, but that's because it's doing frozen stuff. The tag is there so you understand, like, scaling. Like, if I add damage to ice, this will get damage. Even though it's doing holy, it will scale with ice. Magic Wand, on the other hand, those tags do determine damage. Ba 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 ba. You know what? Duplicating this one, I would have 2 more charges. I think this is the one I want to duplicate. Alright, we want to be careful not to use any of the overlapping letters. So that works just fine. How does Spellcraft interact with that? Same way. Like, Death Chill wasn't a sorcery. We put sorcery on there, right? That means when we do our damage, it's going to do dark damage. It's going to do ice damage. But internally, if the game is looking for, like, how much sorcery damage was done, because it has the tag, the cumulative damage will count towards sorcery. Like, sorcery wasn't the damage type, but internal calculations will say, okay, a sorcery source did damage, which is why we're doing Source Winter. It's going to automatically cast Death Chill on our enemies when we do sorceries. Death Chill being itself a sorcery means it could fuel itself, like we're producing a loop. You see why that would read as ambiguous. I don't see it as ambiguous, but I think that's partially experience and partially, like, I read through the how to play. Doo-ba-da-ba-da. Attribute bonuses come in the form of percent-based and flat bonuses. Filtered by things, yada yada. Like, it doesn't as explicitly stated as it could. They have attributes which can be improved to make them more powerful. I guess you could have a line in here that just says, like, the damage type is as listed, tags are not contributing to direct damage, but I feel like that's kind of unnecessary just because you can go in the log. Prismatic Beam only did holy damage here. Alright, duplication. I'll just duplicate it right away. Yeah. It's the damage tags and sorcery tag are separate buckets, and they both apply when damage is dealt. It feels like the spell inherits the sorcery tag, but elemental, etc. feels like it's a different, especially called out thing, like the holy damage on beam. So, the way I look at it is when I'm looking at a spell, like if we look at, Ice Ball. Ice Ball is sorcery and ice, but it tells me right here, inflicts 14 ice damage. Like, it's straight up saying, the damage will be ice. Like, there's no ambiguity there, right? Like, it doesn't say it's going to also do sorcery damage. It's just saying ice damage. And then, there's a piece of equipment we can't look at because of the mode we're in right now, but it will specifically state, like, re-deal half of sorcery damage as arcane damage. Sorcery is like an umbrella school, is how I look at it. Like, fire is fire, but most fire spells will also be sorcery spells. But Ice Ball is sorcery damage, right? For the purposes of how other spells interact, yes, but sorcery is not, like, it's not really a damage type. Like, no spell in the game will say it does sorcery damage. But if the spell is a sorcery, then yes, like, it is sorcery damage, but it's in the form of ice damage. I forgot what day it is. So it's sorcery plus ice damage implicitly as trigger tags, yes. Like, if you have something that cares about calculating based on sorcery damage, you want spells that have the S on there. It's not a damage type, it's a tag, and it will calculate the damage for you, but, like, it's not doing sorcery damage. So that damage should list that in the extended info. But what I'm saying is, so let's say, using your example, right? Ice Ball. If I cast Ice Ball, the extended damage info would just be ice, right? Like, it would just say ice damage happens. Okay, it's a tree. Yeah. Like, in the video that's pinned at the top, when I talk about planning a run, I talk about how scaling works and, like, how you should think about your spell choices in terms of like planning a run. Like the idea is the tags are there to help you understand how you're going to scale your run, because those are the things that will interact with it. How does Spellgraft interact with that? So, Death Chill is Enchantment Dark and Ice. Ignore the sorcery, we grafted it on there. So, Enchantment Dark and Ice. If I were casting that spell, something like Source Winter wouldn't grow. Like, it would say damage dealt 0. Every time I cast Death Chill, damage dealt 0. Doesn't matter if I do 1 billion damage, right? It's not going to go up, because that spell doesn't have the sorcery tag. It's not part of the umbrella of sorcery. By putting the sorcery tag on there, we're not adding sorcery damage. It's still only doing dark damage, and it's only doing ice damage. But when something that looks for sorcery damage is doing its search here, like this is now going to include that in its umbrella. It's like, okay, it's doing that damage, so we're going to start calculating. So we're spell grafting it on there to add the tag so that something that cares about sorcery will care about that spell for us. I know it's confusing because we're using the word damage twice, like it's doing damage in the form of dark and ice. That's the damage type. As far as the category of sorcery is concerned, until we added that tag on there, it wouldn't care about any of that. But now it's calculating, it's doing the math for us. I was interested in this game based on how it looked, but thought it was pretty complicated, but I watched the video and minutes later bought the game. That was my goal, was kind of like taking a large pile of information and going, ignore all of this. This is how you need to think to start the game, and from there you'll start learning. All of this gets attached to damage from a player perspective, right? That's what I wanted. Like, feel good enough that you can start experimenting on your own. Even though it's both tags, is it still 120 damage or 240? No, just 120 is all it cares about. Does that info show up in the combat log as something I can see? Yes. So Source Winter, you can see on the right, it has damage dealt 0. Like, that will go up actively while you're doing it until it hits 120. It'll do its effect, and then it'll reset to 0 again. In the combat log, it'll let you know, like, how much of each type of damage it did. But again, it's not doing sorcery. I feel like we need another word. We're going to refer to damage dealt as damage. And we'll refer to stuff like Source Winter's thing is... How do I get to the combat log? M. M will bring up the combat log. Yeah, we'll say accumulation for the sake of this conversation. Have a good night, Chunky. Accumulation. We'll just say accumulation, right? So as far as Death Chill is concerned, it will do 21 dark damage, 21 ice damage. That's the damage. Sorcery is not a damage type, but that 41 damage total will be accumulation for Source Winter thanks to the sorcery tag. Yeah, type versus source. Opportunity did a better job. Source Winter cares about the properties of the damage source. Cold Snap Amulet cares about the type of damage being dealt. You can graft multiple sources. Yes. I'm ticking down a dragon and it says Heavenly Idol deals 1 holy damage to Starclaw with beauty. With beauty! But you can't really graft damage types. So with Spellgraft, you're literally just adding a tag. Like, you're not adding any damage types. You're just putting a letter on there so that internal calculations will use it for stuff like when you do X with this type of tag. However, some spells can gain a new damage type. There we go. So like Icicle is ice and sorcery, but with the upgrade Corrosive Shard, it will add poison and dark damage and add the dark tag to it. But that's not grafting something onto it. Like, grafting is like we're trying to break the game. We have a rare opportunity to do something outside the realm that is normally possible. If you added lightning damage onto Ice Ball, your damage would contribute to the dynamo to trigger Annihilate, even though you're only doing ice damage, because it's a lightning type spell. Yes! We're just adding the tag is all we're doing. That way it will calculate as things are happening. Get frozen again, everybody. Do. He's just standing there, menacingly. All right, all our holy resist friends are left. I've been following your work since Rift Wizard 1. Just wanted to say you've done an incredible job and thank you for all the amazing content. Thank you for watching. I'm glad you enjoy it. They're all wholly immune. Freeze plus frostbite. They're not ice immune, so I can still hurt them. I think this will take care of the problem. Gilded Tyrants suck. I think Coops had an example of this on his Watcher run where he died, but it was really hard to see how and why, even with the combat log. That has happened a few times to me, more in 2 than this. We're doing a Cryomancer challenge, Bankai. So we're limited to only ice spells and ice equipment. So I don't really have much of a plan outside of freeze things and hurt them a lot. 8 damage per turn. There's 500 HP left. You'll be there a little while. Thank you for indulging. Hey, no problem. Hey. I am always happy to try and answer questions. Sometimes even successfully. This is partially why I'm making this series of videos where it's like, all right, we're just gonna break the game down. We're gonna make it nice little bite-sized learning pieces. Shrine of Reformation. Evolution Shrine. Now that is exciting. I really want a letter E, obviously, but how could I say no to that? So Stormburst, Word of Ice, Prismatic. I think what we want to do is take Pulse and then do Evolution on it and see if we can grab the Arcane Refraction. And then we're cooking with gasoline. Cryomancer. Let's think about it. What tags do we have that we could use? We have one holy tag we could throw in there. Force my space button down. I have on my desk like a little flashlight that is just the right size and weight that I could balance on the number 5 or my spacebar, and I've done that before. You have something for you? You is the ritual tag. Prismatic Pulse. Alright, then we can evolution it. Storm Spike is the obvious direction. But I also like Ice Spear. I don't need to do that just yet. Nightmare touch to an ally for 10 turns. Gross. But this is not too bad. Especially if I start right here. Joosh! Horrible geese. I have to make it to here. Not too bad. We ain't done yet. $11 more shields. Okay. Holy Icon, Prismatic Beam. We got the Arcane Refraction. Hell yeah. Prismatic Beam is now Arcane, so I could do the Arcane Moat. There we go. Cold Diffusion. Perfect. Perfection. I'm not wasting my ice tags on that, because the only option I have is the ice tag for that. Could get another Storm Burst upgrade, though. Or Death Chill we could start upgrading. I don't want to do like a 50-50 coin toss on getting the good thing, though. Like, I want Mass Death Chill. I know I want that, and I want Compounding. If I were to buy, like, Compounding and Lockjaw, it's a coin toss as to whether or not we get Slaughter or Mass Death. I'd rather just get the two I really want than going for value, but not the value I want. So let's just do Storm Burst here. Storm Shield. Not the one I wanted, but that's fine. But...
Hello there.
But opportunity. I've done so many runs in a row where I never find Spellgraph Shrines, and now I'm doing the one type of run where it's less useful and I'm getting them over and over again. Why you do this to me? I just got here. This game looks like fun. I have no idea what's going on. How's the learning curve? It is not that bad. Sorcery on freeze with frostbite. Okay. Okay. If you want a bit more information that's like very new player friendly, there's a pinned video at the top of chat. Then that triggers Death Chill, Obscenities. I'm into it. Like, we gotta take advantage of extra spell grafting, and it has the E I need. So freeze does not have sorcery. Oh yeah, no, that's good. It is not an easy floor. But I think we could do it. Like, these are the problem. Where's the E? We're gonna take a turn and just set up. I, D, E, and S. So freeze and frostbite are 6 total, huh? If we do that right now, we already start getting the funsies, but we don't have the tags on it, so we don't need that just yet. Let's instead do mass death chill. And with that, yeah, I know you could freeze me. Yeah. Boop-a-doop boop. Crap, it's gonna be a... Philosopher's Stone, yeah. It's a good one. May have overspent. Yep, that's what I'm just now realizing as I'm looking at it. I'm like, oh no. Damn it. Crap. The problem is the dark tag would have helped us out. It would have prevented it. We've already had the dark tag on there. Because I think my only S is on a D. 50-50's fine, right? Still worth doing. Big money, no whammies! No whammies! Alright. Back to collecting the letter I. My only S is on a D. Wow. After dark material, yeah, shake the box nights. Never punished. You're only supposed to punish bad behavior, and I don't have bad behavior, thank you. I guess it's really just what floor is the most abusable. Is there before dark content? Yeah, I technically start my streams before dark. I can see the sun right now. I can see both of the suns. I would love to just cast through a crowd and hit many people. I think that's what I'm gonna go for here. Damn it! I forgot about all the rebirths. Spellgraph Shrine's so fun. It blinks so much. Alright, and then freeze. We want frostbite. It's pretty much all we need on that. Where are my eyes at? Come on now. Everything requires eyes. There's one eye. Oh, flame blade fragment though. Ew. All right, we definitely want icicle. An I and a T. What a hateful floor though. Give me your eye. The week to Holy will be nice. I guess we can cast through this guy, hit a few friends. I went with Mass Death Chill, and we're gonna go with Compounding. Yeah! I take it your run didn't end too hot, Pix? Quick question. What's your question, my child? What the fuck? Made it to floor 20 after probably 200 attempts. Held my own for a while, but ultimately got slapped. That reminds me. We gotta make sure, before we get to 21, that we make an Oculus. Like, I keep on forgetting to make Oculuses when I'm doing this. The only way we're gonna, like, one-tap Morgers with an Oculus. I just want 1 T, please. Bonus points if I can get an I and a T. Alright, no I's, no T's, but we're blessed with a broken stopwatch. The problem children are glacial turtles, but they're weak to Holy. And I could start not near them. Won't Icicle counter synergies with Prismatic Beam because it unfreezes them? But won't it be worth it? Like, we're gonna get so many copies of it shooting off. I guess that's the question. What would be more efficient damage-wise? Do we want it to keep on hitting and refracting, or do we want to have, like, 20 copies of the base damage? You lose the bouncing around wall stuff. So, I was also considering that as well, that Pix just brought up, is we can take Tundra Mantle, which enemies that are soaked become frozen, and we take the item that enemies that are unfrozen become soaked. But that won't stop, that won't prevent us losing the bounces either way, right? Oh, it's tricky. Like, we can go in either direction. They're both fun. There's the upgrade to freeze for refreezing. True. We'll have to explore this. We're still a T away from Icicle, and we don't necessarily have to build it once it's ready. Right, you bastards. God damn it. They have burrowing. I'm like, I'm just gonna let them burrow toward me, I guess. All right, friend. You're inside your shell. Ugh, you suck. How do we deal with this problem right now? He's stunned for 5 turns. I can just back out to get out of his damage range. Stun him. Alright, and that opened up the level for me. The only problem is I won't be able to get the thing I came here for. That is very disappointing. You can get it? You can freeze the water. It's inside of a frozen block. Yeah, I know we can do this. But it doesn't help us in this current situation. I don't think there are any for ice, are there? Ice elementals. I have 7 spell points. Yep, takes 8. I will take this opportunity to advocate for perhaps at the end of a level, a cleanup phase where like equipment doesn't get trapped inside of blocks. Or maybe like we keep it like this. I don't know. Like as a player it's frustrating, but it's not exactly bad to have a somewhat frustrating thing happen occasionally like that. Like, in theory, I could have tried to play around this. It's just such a weird thing to try and play around. Wall-eating equipment? We're in Cryomancer, so I don't think any of that... Don't think that's an option for us. I don't think we have an option. Nothing here breaks blocks, right? What's the wording on Wall of Ice? Nope. Oh well. R.I.P. broken stopwatch. Yeah, that's our only option. We don't have a spell point for it. We're at 7. Alright, well, there's my tea. I could take a sorcery tome. Gross floor for us, though. Gross floor. Yep. We do want an Oculus, which means we want a Y. STW, sexually transmitted wizards. We could go for Odin's Eye. There's only one spell we would do. It's Eye of Ice. I'm sorry, I kind of want your eyeball. It's kind of sweet. I can make the Storm Oculus using that. Yeah, well, that's just like your opinion, man. I feel like that would be a fun one to add to our collection. I still have a couple of more David Lynch ones I gotta put in there. We gotta have what the hell and he's dead to go along with our current fix your hearts or die. Right now we've gotten freeze leveled up pretty much where we want it. Like, we just want frostbite. Death chill, I need compounding chill on there. Prismatic beam, I think I'm satisfied. Word of ice I haven't done yet. We're good on storm burst. And probably gonna take storm spike on icicle. Wrapped in plastic. Don't drink the coffee. There was a fish in the percolator. I might just make my Oculus now. We don't actually need a Y for the Oculus, which is surprising. I don't know why I thought we needed one. Because the word Oculus, that's why. The word Oculus implies eye. That would do it. I'm gonna reroll, see if we can get anything more exciting. A companion is kind of exciting. And it's on a floor with an eye. Alright. Okay. So we'll do a Storm Oculus. I don't believe we have any arcane damage in the mix. We do have lightning and ice, though. I need an E. I have one E, so that answers that question. I need an I. And we need an L. There we go, that's handy. And now I'm back to needing eyes desperately. Horrible. I can hit the most blood maguses in one cast right here. If you get compounding chill now, I bet you win the level in one word of ice. Compounding chill. I really should have done that beforehand. Whoopsies. Ranger, Berserker, or Witch Doctor? I love Witch Doctor. And now it matters that I have the storm shields. Before it was like, Ice Phoenix for free is kind of tempting. Well. I want Cold Snap. Is that what I'm gonna duplicate, though? Think we should duplicate it? Turn that 40% into a 40% and then another 40% if they don't get frozen the first time? Could you imagine if I had a stopwatch to put in here? Could you imagine? Wouldn't that be awesome? Could you picture it? Snowshoes. Have a good night, Bankai. So far, we're doing all right survivability. Big part of that is if an enemy takes ice damage, we generate shields, and if someone touches us, our shields hurt them. And if we have the Cold Snap amulet, all the better. We could refreeze them when they hit us. Boo, boo. Either way, I want to make that. Could get that 100 armor resist. Yeah. Sounded like someone with a machine gun was in the room. Like, I'll take care of the statue. Brrr. I think I got him. Yeah, I'm kind of leaning into, like, what if we had another copy of Death Chill Staff? That statue had 133 copies of Death Chill on it. I mean, the more Death Chills we cast, the easier it is for it to self-fulfill itself. I think just scaling damage might be what I want to focus on now. Like, the more damage our things do, the easier it is for it to do the work. You are correct. I went down a rabbit hole of duplicating the books, unless something changed. It was a very depressing... Oh. It's dealing its own damage. That's what I'm saying. Like, if we could increase the damage it's already dealing, it'll make it easier for it to keep going. But yeah, we definitely want to do that. Like, right now, Death Chill is 21 and 21. If we can make that number bigger, all the better. It changed, so removing a book when you have 2 copies won't remove the spell. Okay. So duplicating a book is no longer a trap. You would duplicate the book, which wouldn't give you another charge of the spell, but if you get a Reformation or a Dissolution Shrine, or the one that lets you take apart equipment, like, that would be pretty sweet. What the fuck, Opportunity? What the actual hell? 3 in 1 run? Like, come on now. What's left? What's left? Will seeded runs be a thing we can do? I plan on trying to do, like, Me and Alias sitting down and doing like the weekly at the same time in voice chat together. Trying to mess with each other about like what portals we took. Yeah, sorcery on Word of Ice. We have one S component. Wait, that's not my components. Oh, hell yeah. It'll be super easy to do. Sorcery, sorcery, sorcery. Yeah, that's the one. Word of Ice with sorcery would break this game wide open. Bone wheels. Come out to play. Let me answer that question, Sally, by taking my first turn on floor 19. That was merely my first turn. Now to get serious. This has 6 copies of Death Chill on it, huh? Yep, that was without the upgrade. Alright. Deals damage to everybody. I have 8 more spell points. Cast Chill Wind on 3 random enemies. What was the Bone Spear? That's from the new Bone Wheel enemies. Chill Wind is a sorcery. Chill Wind is a sorcery. Another eye component. What do we got? Insanity Queen. Or Insanity Queen. Boo, boo, ba da ba ba da ba. Currently, I can afford. I could make the Icicle, but I feel like at this point, we're beyond Icicle. Winter Links would be nice. Snowshoes would be nice. Prismatic Links would be nice. No, I can't make the other Oculus because we need the E tag. Will we get an E tag on either of these levels? Yeah, I just need an E for it. That would be really nice. Does the Oculus still not work if they're immune to the damage type, though? Like, if we ran into a Storm Knight, immune to ice, immune to lightning, would the Oculus do nothing? Jerks. That's why you get the arcane one, too. Yeah, the Witch Doctor, that's why I took it. I'm like, my Oculus won't do anything. But this'll help. All right. Chill stuff. That's true. That'll just refreeze everybody right away. That's the solution to the puzzle right there, isn't it? That's the solution. Icicle would refreeze them after the fact. Sorry, this would refreeze them after Icicle does its thing. We're killing them before they're frozen for very long, so let's take that off of our list. I do like this, though. Just keep them all nice and frozen. Although prismatic links would do good work. Prismatic links would do excellent work, actually. We're doing holy damage, we're doing ice damage. This would be even better, wouldn't it? Do you lose if you die the same turn you kill the last enemy? I know in 2 you don't. Ice Frenzy, now that's what I want. Good up, gross! Gross! Boo! 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 I ain't doing that, screw that. Reroll. There we go. Pope with an eye. Or the gardener with an eye. YMIFHM. Let's see. Idol of Souls, Mr. the Pope. This is a pretty good time. I like that floor. The gardener is gonna summon a bunch of fairies. And 40,000 HP. And the stupid ice turtles, no. Nay. I shan't be going there. I would like to cast through a crowd. It's not done. Not done yet. I appreciate that the theme of today's stream when we sat down, I was like, I want to do science about making loops of damage happen. And then we did it on the first run. It was excellent. And then we're like, alright, we'll just spin the wheel and do a challenge run, like any random Mancer. And then we all collectively put on our lab coats and did it again. Theory? Ice? I love the fireworks display for our equipment. Just all the stuff lighting up. Jerk in front of me, though, only takes 700 damage at a time. What's going on, Clanless? Best one was 17. 17's a good floor to get to. I got a 21 floors, only 3 away from the end. Not bad. Guess 4, technically. One day the Bone Shamblers will be dead. Is there any way to actually turn 1 the Pope? His 700 damage limit is tricky. Oh my god, it's turn 2? Undead to dominate with the quick cast somehow? Yeah, make him undead and dominate. That might be the one way. Soul tax? He still has a damage cap of 700, so we couldn't do that. Mass Stampede will annihilate. Still would only take 700 in a turn. I think making him undead and dominating is the only way to turn one. Mr. the Frog. Max HP component, trigger them to get your max speed way up. Dominate them that way. Yep. Dominate, I think, might be the only way, right? A lot of Dark Chip and Necrosis Blades. Lowers max HP. That'd be interesting. That's not impossible. He has 75 stacks of Death Chill on him right now. That's a good point. What's the 700? I mean, lowering his health 700 times over with the blade might work out, but... I wanted to see, like, without casting spells, what my Ice Frenzy will do. Ooh, the perma-petrify chance. Interesting. Oh my god, he turned my buddy into a worm! Would you still love me if I were a worm? Yes, Witch Doctor, I would. Nothing is nature in here? Dang. Come on, storm bursts. How do you not have nature on you? No fire, no eye, no blood. Whatever, nature. Archfiends, whirlwind. No, thank you. No, thank you, sir. Ah, still whirlwinds and people immune to holy but weak to dark. I can get ice right away. The ism. An E-tag is what I need for other nonsense, but... Whoa, Lord! What happened? Turn 2 happened without my my input. There it goes. Damage to wizard, Whirlwind Reaper. So I got frozen at some point in there. So turn 1.
No.
Pick up my frost core, I cast my spell. Lots of good work happens. My ice frenzy gets up to 96 tags. Okay, and then turn 2. Wizard is frozen. Where's the frozen? There was no Mirror of Galed on the floor, right? Yeah, how frozen's what I'm trying to figure out. Only the things that apply to me. You see it? Frozen applied to Wizard for 12 turns. But why? Think Chill Wind? Chill Wind probably hit me. What's going on, Mud? Too cool for your own school. That's rough. Wait. Ah, I clicked off. I still wanted to look at the combat log. Well, we had a wildly good run. Unfortunately, we managed to freeze ourselves randomly. Which is all it takes for one of those horrible whirlwind guys to get up there. Damn. Damn. Well, there goes the win streak. Ugh. I mean, that was still an excellent run. Like, very good. Very fun. A little sad we didn't get to clown on Mordred. Sun's too hot. Bullshit happened. Unfortunately, bullshit of our own design, right? Like, we chose to put the wind spell on there, and it is random. So we got unlucky, it hit one near us. We probably should have invested in become immune to frozen. Yeah, combat logs and runs are saved in the files. Thank you for watching that episode, and I hope you enjoyed it. An even bigger thank you to these people above me, the members here at YouTube and the Patreon patrons. As my life is actively falling apart around me, your support really means the world to me right now. Thank you so much. If you watching would like to support me, we got links down below for the direct means, but the easiest thing to do is just like, comment, and subscribe to feed the algorithm. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.